Good afternoon. Today, you're with Origin Property Public Company Limited. My name is Perry Chong from Investor Relations. To my right here is our CEO, Mr. Pilapong Chalun A.
Good afternoon.
And on the other side is Mr. Sira C. Suksai. He is from EVP of Finance.
Good afternoon.
So we can start with our company's overview. So if you take a look at our slide to the left side for residential, Origin Property will still continue to develop condominiums and housing residentials, and as well as expanding to commercial real estate as well. So you can see here we have 39 projects in condominiums and value of 51 billion baht, and one project in housing at 800 million baht. So our latest news of last year is that we have a joint venture projects working with Nomura Real Estate Holdings as well. So we have 5 projects in condominiums with them and 1 project in recurring income hotel project. So other than that, our recurring incomes, as of now we have 3 projects in recurring income, which we will show you in the later slides. And then finally we have services business, which is the after sales of property management, sales, leasing, as well as hotel-like services that our end users can benefit from. So a quick update in our company's product line. As you can see, our entry level, we have Kensington, where projects of average of 1 bedroom is around 2 to 3 million baht. Mid level is Notting Hill, so we have projects for 1 bedroom around 3 to 4 million baht. Our high-end project is Knightsbridge, which is average of 5 to 6 million baht, as well as our luxury product, which is Park, where project can start from 6 million baht and above for 1 bedroom. So we also have a new brand called Britannia, which will be our housing product line, which we will explain in the next slide. So this is an example of our housing product. So like our condominium segments, we are always focused on all of the market segments in the market. So from low entry level to high end super luxury level. So we are doing the same with the housing product line. So you can see here we have products from townhome and offices where products can start from 3 to 5 million baht. Mid section would be single or detached houses where prices can start from 5 to 8 million baht, and the premium level where prices start from 8 to 20 million baht and above. So this is a slide of our joint venture with Nomura Real Estate Holdings. As you can see here, 5 projects is from condominium, working with them, and 1 hotel. So 3 projects from the left has already been launched from last year, and 2 projects that is towards the hotel sector is that it will be launched during this year. As well as a hotel, we already started the foundation for this project and it's going quite nicely. So other than what we work with Nomura Real Estate, other than equity, we also benefit from other sections. We work together as co-developer, therefore they share all of their know-how, technology, innovation designs, customer-based strategy, property management, brokerage, as well as marketing. So this way we can enhance our company to move forward in a faster pace and more sustainable. So from the products in both companies, you can see that our product line, our services is very similar to each other. As you can see that in the slide here, we have condominium, hotels, property management, retail, housing, and warehouses. So working with them, we are able to strive through these business lines much quicker and much more faster than we can do ourselves. At the moment, we have worked together in condominiums, as now we also started out with hotel and services with them. So in the later future, we are able to move forward in other business lines together as well. So our business structure in recurring business is that we, other than hotels and service apartments, we also would like to expand, explore in other areas as well, such as mixed-use projects where we have retail, commercial, co-working space, and hotels and all that of our own as well. So if you can see here in the slide, we have JV venture company with Nomura that we started out with 1 hotel with them. As for Origin side, we also have 2 other hotels that is already launched, and 1 more hotel would be coming soon, as well as mixed use projects that is coming really soon within this year is Origin 24, as well as warehouses. This is something new to us, so we are still under studying process. So if we have more research in that area, we may more likely to explore in that area. So this is our recurring income business plan. They are all total project value of 14 billion baht, as well as you can see that 4 projects is already launched in this slide here as well. So from 2020 is when we can start recognizing project value assets. So in terms of commercial or recurring income related, is that we would move into the Bangkok area as cluster model as well as our condominiums. So these are 3 areas that we are currently focusing on in expanding our recurring income business. If you can see here in the slide, we already have some project in these areas already, and there will be more project coming up really soon into these areas as well. So here's another example in the EEC cluster area towards the Chonburi and Rayong area. We also have project in these areas as well, so we would more likely to expand into these areas further. So in the next slide, we can have our Mr. Sirat explain more towards the key highlights and financials.
Yes, in last year 2017, we have the key deliverable. So I think in May we acquired a 100% share of the Park Residence. So we already own the Park 24 project, and we can use the Park brand for our luxury segment. In December, we announced a joint venture with Nomura Real Estate. Right, there's a Perry already present that we already have the 4 hotel and 4 condominium and 1 hotel with them. In the same quarters, we finished the first project in EEC. It's called the Knightsbridge, the Ocean Sriracha. Yes, and we already transferred the project to the customer. And in the December, we reached to the one of the 700 index in Thailand. For the financial highlights, I think the last year we already hit the record for the bottom line and the top line. Yeah, both of the numbers has increased more than 3 times. Right, for the top line, the revenue is increased from 3.2 billion to almost 10 billion in last year. For the bottom line, we also reached the 3 times, increasing from the 640 million to 2 billion Thai baht in last year. For the percent of the gross profit, even is a little bit drop from the 2016 from the mid of 40 to around 35%. It mainly is come from the allocations of the PPA, the purchase price agreement, the purchase price allocations from the Park 24 that we already acquired. Yes, that is accounting. It's not hurt any cash. It's just the adjustment that move our GP drop. But with a new project opening a lot last year, so we achieved the economy of scale in terms of the SG&A. So the percentage of the SG&A has decreased. So we still can maintain the percent of the net profit of the 20s is in line with the 2016. This one is just a summary again in the quarter by quarter. So in summaries, last year the pre-sale increased 36%, revenues and net profit increased more than 200%. In terms of the benchmark comparisons, I think from the percentage of the return on equity, we are the number ones in terms of this number. Yeah, we can deliver the return to the equities on more than the 50%. Is in terms of the percent of the net profit. Yeah, we are the number 4 in the market that can deliver the net profit more than 20%. For the financials, health, financial performance, for the leverage ratio, I think we are still in the healthy range with the IBD interest bearing debt to equity is around 1.4. Even we acquired the Park 24 last year, we expand a lot of new projects, but we still can maintain the discipline in terms of the finance. We have the covenant in the bank loans around 2 to the 2.5 times, but we still can maintain at 1.4, and this year we think that we can maintain this level or a little bit lower to 1.3. For the business outlook, in terms of the overall, I think this right, we want to show that the property sector the growth is related to the GDP growth more than like 80%. So I think in the last 3 years from 2015, I think the GDP of Thailand is increased like more than 3%. Last year is almost 4%, and this momentum, the government and the government still expect the GDP growth more than 4% this year. It means that in the overall, this sector is still expanding, is promising to our company. This right, we want to highlight that even the market is worried about the household debt to GDP that is increasing, that and maybe is tolerate the capacity of the customer to buy the new home. But actually the percentage of the household debt to GDP is not increasing, but it's still a little bit decreased from the higher number in more than 10 years, from the 81% in 2015 to around 78% this year. So I think this one should not be a problem for our sector. In terms of the segment of the market share, right? So I think the last year, from the information that we get, is in terms of the luxuries and the high-end segment is still growing, right? It's growing, while the entry level is decreasing. But we think that this year for the entry level and mid level should be improved from the GDP growth, and people can have the purchasing power more on the buying the new home. For the 2018 business plan and the 5-year plan, the Perry will present to you.
Thank you. So as you can see, the overview picture of our business in our market is looking quite nicely. So therefore, this relates to our planning and our how we execute our target as well. So you can see that for 2018, we have launches of 30 billion baht, increase from last year 98%, and target sales at 20 billion baht at 36% increase from last year. So you can see here, this is in accordance with our business overview. You can see that the market is quite growing strongly in the mid to high end level. Therefore, our products this year, 10 condominiums and 4 housings will be in that sector. If you take a look in this, so before we wrap up the presentation, if you have any questions that you would like to ask our CEO, please send them in now, so that when it's during Q&A, we can answer them for you. Thank you. So continue back to our brand proportion. So you can see here in our branding segment in our previous slide, we have more segmentations towards the Park brand, Knightsbridge brand, and Nothing Hill. So you can see that this sector is increasing towards according with our research in the market sectors. Our plan for this year is a quick wrap up, is that project launches is increased 98%, 30 billion baht for this year. Pre-sale target is 20 billion baht, increased 36% from last year. Revenue target also increased 67% at 15 billion baht, as well as newly project completion, which is our previous projects that are completed this year, has also increased in value at 49% at 19 billion baht. So in the next slide here is our backlog. You can see that our backlog is still very strong, can still cover us for the next 3 years. For this year, our backlog is holding at 80%, which is very, very nice. And for next year is up to 52%, and the third year is towards 30%. So average market backlogs is around 35%. So our portfolio here is still looking very, very nice. So this is our first quarter project launches. We launched 3 projects altogether in the Knightsbridge brand, total value of 6 billion baht. And our pre-sale target is 5 billion baht as for the first quarter. If you take a look here, our first day online booking for the first 3 Knightsbridge for this quarter was sold out in that day, total value of 1.5 billion baht. So projection for the next 5 years, our company, this is, if you take a look at the top line, we are still increasing quite stably towards the next 5 years. This slide doesn't include the JV projects that we work with Nomura Real Estate, but if you take a look in the next slide, this is including the JV projects with Nomura. So you can see that on the top line has increased sustainably while working with Nomura Real Estate. Thank you. So if you have any questions, please send them in, and we will answer them as much as possible.
So let's just say that we quite confident to deliver our performance for this year as an external factor becoming quite very well in terms of the economic recovery, in terms of the government investment in the super infrastructure in the Greater Bangkok. More than 10 lines of the new MRT will coming in the Eastern Economic Corridor plan, the EEC plan, that the government want to invest more. We originally also have a project on that area, including Chonburi province, Rayong province, where the central of the EEC. For the GDP growth about 4% in the double years last year and this year targeting. We plan to, the total market size, the total market sale volume will increase something like 5 to 10%. For Origin itself, we like to gain, the revenues target is something like 15 billion, is more than last year, about 50% that we could deliver for. We have very good, strong backlog for this year. For those 15 billion that we're gonna realize, we already secure already 80%. This means quite very good perspective for achieve the target for this year as well. This, the question is, could you please describe very briefly average buyers of Origin residential condominium unit? Who are they? The average buyer of Origin condominium units is something like 3 to 5 million baht, where the previous graph is something like the most popular segment in the condominium business. Who are they that buying that condominium? Something like the new generation that work for something like 5 to 10 years, and they want to have their home nearby the station, so they want the convenience. So the age of them is probably around 30 to 40 years old and afford to buy 3 to 5 million baht easily with their revenue income about 50,000 baht to 80,000 baht per month. The next question is, what percentage of Thai customer and foreigner, how do they pay for the unit, in cash or using mortgage? For last year, we done the pre-sale, about 15 billion Thai baht, and total revenue about 10 billion. For the customer, for Origin is something like 80% is Thai people, foreigners 20%. For Thai people, the majority, 30%, they transfer the unit by cash, and the 70% they transfer by using the mortgage loan from the bank. And for the foreigner, almost of them using the cash to transfer the unit. Okay. The second question is transfer of revenue booking for 2018 1920, right? Okay, we have the sorry. Okay, this one can show you the top line, the revenue that we expect this year, 2018. We can see something like 15 billion, and until the next 4 year, 2022, we can take a look of the revenue about 28 billion. Okay, I think it might all of the question and presentation for today. We are very glad to present to all investors today. And if you have more question, more information, you could send to our email ir@origin.co.th. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.